The Great World Dream, the Perspective of the Gama. Hello everyone, and welcome to today's deep dive. Today, we are exploring a pivotal technical summary found in Volume 5 of the Śūraṅgama Sutra. This particular verse was provided by the Buddha for Nanda and for all of us today to clearly see how this grand dream we call life is actually woven. Many people ask, if the world is an illusion, then what is this pain I feel? What about my possessions? Or even this physical body? The Buddha provides the answer in the very first line of the verse. The nature of conditioned things is empty. They rise from causes and are thus like illusions. Today, we aren't just parsing ancient text. We are hacking into the source code of the human mind. Chapter 1, True Nature versus Conditioned Phenomena, the Screen and the Image. The Buddha teaches that all conditioned phenomena, including your emotions, your breath, the mountains, the rivers, and even this planet are, in their essence, true nature, inherently empty. Why are they like illusions? Because they rise from causes. To rise from causes means to exist only because of a specific gathering of conditions. Think of a movie. It is an illusion woven by the projector's light, the film reel, and the screen. You sit in the theater, weeping at the drama or raging at the villain. But if you walk up to the screen, you find nothing there but a blank white cloth. That white cloth is your wondrous bright true mind. It is emptiness. The busy movie is our life. The images are the cloth even as they appear. This is known as the condition is the empty. They are merely temporary, illusory traces. The true nature itself is beyond arising or ceasing. It is an eternal stage. Though the place changed tragedies, comedies, partings, and thus the stage itself never increases or decreases. These phenomena of birth and death are like flowers in the sky seen by exhausted eyes. You see them, but they are fundamentally non-existent. Chapter 2, The Cage of Language. Why truth can also be a delusion. The most brilliant dialectic in this verse is, falseness is spoken to reveal the true. Yet both false and true are equally delusions. The Buddha points out that we habitually say, this is an illusion. That is the truth. This is a necessary tool to point us toward reality. However, here is the catch. The moment you establish a concept of truth, that concept itself becomes a mental fabrication. Why? Because the true nature cannot be reached by language. It is not a word, nor a sound, for the sake of communication. We give it many names: Bodhi, Nirvana, the ultimate truth. These names are merely fingers pointing at the moon. If you mistake the finger for the moon, you lose the reality. The Buddha says that once you try to define truth, you are already 10,000 miles away from your self-nature. The self-nature is inherently as it is. It doesn't need your definition. As soon as language intervenes, it is no longer the ultimate reality. Thus, the Buddha says, if even the true is not true, how can there be the perceiver and the perceived? In that absolute space of self-nature, there is no me who sees and no object being seen. The moment you establish a vision, you fragment the whole. It is like two reeds leaning against each other. They stand only by mutual support. Remove one, and the other falls. This proves they have no independent real nature. They are just illusions, woven by deluded perception. Chapter 3, One Road. Two ends. Your direction determines your destination. The next line reveals the ultimate mystery of practice. The knot and its undoing share the same cause. Sage and mortal walk no different paths. This means the knots are tied by your six sense organs. They create karma. And the undoing of those knots must also happen through the six senses. Your senses are a platform. You experience the results of the beginningless past through them, and you create the karma of the future through them. The mortal and the sage walk the same road. One end is infinite suffering. The other is infinite bliss. the mortal runs frantically toward the suffering end because we are obsessed with illusory karmic fruits. Dragged by the nose by desire and fear, the sage simply turns around and walks toward the bliss end. They stop following the world, stop following karmic results, and stop following the crowd. What is liberation? Liberation is no longer following. When your eyes meet beauty, you don't follow the craving. When your ears hear malice, you don't follow the anger. Once the chain reaction of the three causes world, karma, and sentient beings is cut, new karmic seeds stop forming, and you are liberated in that very moment. The only difference is the choice of direction. Chapter 4, The Game of Mind Grasping Mind, Staring Until the Vision Blurs. The Buddha then describes the most absurd behavior of sentient beings. The mind grasping at the mind makes the non-illusory into illusory laws. Imagine you are holding a mirror, but don't realize it. You see a gold coin in the mirror and try desperately to dive into the glass to grab it, only to end up bloodied. This is the mind grasping at the mind. The mountains, the earth, wealth, love, and hate, these are all images projected by your wondrous bright true mind. They are expressions of your nature, but because you grasp them, they become illusory laws that imprison you. This is what the Buddha calls staring until the eyes are weary. Space is naturally clear, but if you stare intensely at it for too long, hallucinations appear. Our current life is a collective staring contest. If you don't grasp, the illusion cannot stand. If you don't even cling to the idea of a non-illusory self-nature, how could any illusory law find a place to rest? This is the beginning of liberation. When grasping ceases, there is nothing that is not non-illusion. Once you let go of the grabbing mind, the illusions naturally dissipate like morning mist. Chapter 5, The Wondrous Lotus and the Illusion like Samadhi. At the end of the verse, the Buddha gives us a powerful direction for practice. He calls this wisdom of not grasping the wondrous lotus. Why a lotus? Because a lotus doesn't grow in clean sand. It must grow in the filthiest, muddiest swamp. The Buddha says that an arhat is like clean soil, pure, but unable to grow a lotus. We mortals, living in this five turbidities world full of baggage and deep-seated habits, are actually the most fertile soil for the growth of this wondrous lotus. This method is also called the Vajra King Treasure Awareness. Asterisk Vajra diamond symbolizes the hardness and destructive power of self-nature. King symbolizes the sovereignty of self-nature. This is not an external divine power. It is the awakening inherent within you. If you are willing to practice this illusion like samadhi, learning to see everything as an illusion while still handling everything with ease, the Buddha promises, in a finger snap, you surpass the state of no learning. You can transcend realms that take others decades of arduous practice to reach. This is the single gate to nirvana for all Buddhas of the 10 directions. Conclusion: how will you choose your gate? Before we end, the Buddha gives us a practical tip. Choose the organ that is most perfectly penetrating for you, and enter the flow to achieve right enlightenment. While all 6 senses can lead to either samsara or liberation, everyone has different predispositions. Some are sensitive to sound, some to sight, some to thought. Pick the gate that feels most natural to you. Start there and enter the flow, staying anchored in your self-nature. Once you can settle into your self-nature, that is right enlightenment. This is a stark, yet profoundly gentle revelation. Life doesn't require you to create liberation. It only asks you to discover the self-nature that was never knotted in the first place. Our gratitude to the Buddha's Path Association of Australia for sharing the profound Dharma of the Śūraṅgama Sutra. May you all, in this illusory life, never forget that eternal, unmoving, wondrous, bright, true mind. Until next time.